Okay, conspiracy. VASRD changes by themselves, not a big issue. This DBQ thing, if you look at it by itself, not a big issue. You put those together, something's happening. There's two more aspects I want to talk about this. One is the Supreme Court in equipoise, right? That we had talked about. Now, this is, again, if you look at it individually, it's favorable to veterans. If you look at it collectively with everything going on, I'm going to say something. To me, this bill makes sense for the VA. Okay. Hey, I've tried, and I'm going to make some huge accusations here. That's backed by data, by the way. I'm the VA. I've tried to deny veteran evidence when it became an equipoise because my C&P examiner is better. They're not, but that's what the VA is saying, clearly. Okay. And then we have Supreme Court that's saying, whoa, equipoise decision, the tie goes to the veteran. The court also found that the BVA has not been doing that. So if you're wondering if the VA has been doing it, the answer is no. Maybe sometimes, but they have not been following their own rules. Now that's established. That is a rule. The VA must give the tiebreaker goes to the veteran. They're not. Hence Supreme Court. Okay. And so if you look at these collectively, okay, I'm now the VA. Fine, Supreme Court. Fine. The tie will go to the veteran. Fine. I'm going to pout like my 7-year-old daughter does. All right. Well, what can I do now? Hey, let's just rip away DBQs and make it VHA providers and C&P exams. I'm not saying that's the case. What I'm saying is it seems
interesting.
Like it.
Right.
Wow. What a coincidence. What a coincidence that for no reason we want to give power back to the VA secretary to do that. There's not a person on this planet that can convince me that's not the case. I'm not saying it is. All I'm saying is, hey, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. That's the situation to me. The second thing, and I'm going to kick it back to you, the reason this matters the most, it's not really because the VA secretary has the discretion to get rid of DBQs, right? Because there's a workaround. Evidence is evidence. It's either on a DBQ form, a Nexus letter, or whatever form your provider creates. Evidence is evidence. That's not going anywhere. The biggest issue when I read that, and I actually got it from your video first. I was like, ooh, I've got to make a video right now. So thank you for that. It's the assumption that this tells me that Congress is working under the assumption that VHA providers are completing DBQs, which is not true. Someone is lying to Congress. It's the VA, if you're curious. Someone's lying. And we know this because I'm not just saying this. I have a video, and man, I wish I knew where this video's at and we had more time because I would play the whole clip where multiple times, I made a video, Jason, where multiple times the VA secretary, McDonough, on his way out, was asked, what happens when a veteran's only healthcare is the VA and their provider refuses DBQs? And he said, paraphrase, that grinds my gears. He's a weird, like West Coast pasty white dude from Idaho or something. He says weird things like grinding my gears. And he acknowledges it. And guess what? Nothing changes. So if you're that veteran whose provider will not fill a DBQ, well, guess what? I'm going to drop an F-bomb, and I'm sorry. You're fucked. That's the truth. If your provider will not complete a DBQ and the VA removes the public-facing DBQ, you are literally hopeless. That's why I don't like it. That's my two biggest concerns, right? The Supreme Court, then the VA is kind of backtracking, saying, well, fine, we'll do it this way. And then the VHA providers not completing DBQs. Congress is under the assumption that's not the case, which is clearly a lie. I'm not happy about this at all. I guess there is one more thing, and then I'll pass it to you. I'm sorry, Jason. I'm saying everything. Another aspect is we have a new VA secretary coming in. And so what McDonough would have done is completely irrelevant at this point. Now the question becomes, what is the Honorable Doug Collins. It's Doug Collins, right? That's his name. What's Doug Collins going to do? That's the question. Okay.
Right.
And so now I'm like, well, Doug Collins, what are you going to do?
Right.
Let's see it. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Take it.
Right. Well,
That's a lot. That's a lot.
It is a lot, all over the place. So one, let's start with the Doug Collins thing.